Hi, I'm Faith Pape, and I will be presenting about birth order and effect on personality. Adler's theory is the first thing to talk about with birth order theory, as he came up with this, and he had an idea of family constellation, which was created by family atmosphere and values, contributing to your own birth order, which brought forth unique worldviews and demands compared to the rest of the family. This, he believed, is what would create order in the home and bring a healthy home life. Birth order. This was his main idea, and contributing that every in each family, firstborn, middle, and younger, would have different personality traits. The oldest he is seen as responsible, including for their younger siblings. They are also seen as respectable and have experience with what younger siblings may not, being an only child. This means with direct attention from their parents, it can be confusing at first for them to deal with another person receiving attention when that middle child comes. And the middle child is seen as more rebellious, but at the same time more relaxed and go with the flow. With an older sibling feeling superior, the middle child likes to compete, while at the same time dealing with their younger sibling receiving praise and attention. The personality later discussed will show how the characteristics are reflected in parental guidance and attention. Youngest receives the most attention from the parents and can become self-centered and is more dependent on their parents for much longer and are in more need of help more times. And finally, modern ideas. Adler's theory is something seen today in our modern society and is a big concept still used today. Development of Adler's birth order skills. There is an additional observation to Adler's theory, which is very recent, with a study that demonstrates it on a scale with a diagram shown below that shows that statistically based off college students in Pakistan with questions concerning personality and sibling birth order. This study was not a within family study, meaning that it was not found with other siblings, and there are no twins or only children, as the treatment for those could differentiate significantly from the people in this study. This is a relatively new study with new information, and they hope to later on look into studies for twins and single kids. This is a credible study with information accumulated and adequate and is in range to be a good credible source by this scale subset. And there are 8 core traits relating to birth order used in this to ask college students that specifically show different birth orders. This was to try and measure on a scale what Adler's theory is that birth order does affect a person's personality. These next traits include deviant, which is an engaging in prohibited behavior, typically with drugs or even physical assault. The difference in treatment of children and birth order results in some of these actions and is seen in antisocial people. This is usually the result of unfair treatment, specifically neglect, or overburdened, like an older child. Pampered. This is seen with the youngest child, what exhibits these traits, and when they are given an overbearing amount of attention, they have dependent and immature traits even into adulthood when given a baby type of treatment. Social interest, which is a characteristic key in Adler's beliefs, although in this experiment it was noted that the middle children tend to key in on social environments and thrive. It is oftentimes thought that this public attention is shown to show parents who, with different treatment, often is seen in neglect towards the middle child. Self-centered is another trait found throughout the study used, and it is directly correlated to the youngest child, where they are more focused on themselves because the attention when they were younger was given to them. They did not realize a flaw in their personality. More traits include conscientiousness. This is given to the oldest, who is responsible and have careful attitudes out of all of their siblings. They are the ones that have major responsibilities and oftentimes can feel overburdened with that attention coming up later. Competitive, this is specifically for the middle child who likes to compete for that number one spot with the oldest. The middle tries to surpass, but oftentimes is not able to and feels like they can never be good enough. And the youngest stays away from this oftentimes as they can feel inferior to their older siblings. Neurotic. This term is used for the children who are given different treatment due to birth order, and it is often for the children who are overburdened, which is the oldest child, and the middle born become neurotic due to being neglected more. And this is just mentally, they are not in a good place. Parental attention is what the oldest receive from their parents, but the attention is based off of responsibilities and that the oldest must become successful in life type of attitude. This is when they could become more overbearing and start to see them going towards that neurotic path. Only child. It is only fair to add the only child as birth order. They don't have any other siblings. They have different traits, such as no sibling rivalry. With no other kids around, they don't have any siblings to play with or fight with, and oftentimes like to spend time with adults. Academic intelligence. With more resources and time spent with parents, focusing on them, specifically when they have more time with parents, results show that they are higher academic achievement. Self-esteem, with encouragement coming from parents, and this is based off of encouragement and healthy environment at the home with parents. They have a higher self-esteem of themselves when built up. And shy. When they are younger, oftentimes they can be shy around kids their own age at first, as they are unfamiliar with other children around them in their home usually. Education. IQ and larger families. There have been studies to look at IQ, how it corresponds with birth order, but they have been knocked down in various ways, and in 2001 was when a man, J.L. Rogers, wrote an article and called the relationship between the two a methodological illusion. Some studies show that the younger children do tend to have lower IQs and lower intelligence at school. This is also seen specifically in large families, as shown in the chart, though there is no direct correlation between the two at the moment. It's just a known fact and statistic when looking at it, but there is no direct correlation. And in thoughts. Birth order does tend to show different characteristics between different siblings. It is also normal and healthy to have different traits among brothers and sisters. The important factor throughout all of this information is that psychology is still fairly new in our society, and parts of it are still being studied and researched constantly. Accurately measuring data for siblings directly correlating to specific traits can be difficult and may not be completely accurate. Although it cannot be explored to an exact science, birth order's effect on personality is a component, specifically when parents treat their children in different ways depending on their birth order. The way a parent directs their attention and careful towards their child has an immediate but also a lasting impact on the future of their child.